literacy is extremely important. Um, Cat Williams actually said he read 3,000 books a year when he was 10 years old.
You believe that?
When I heard him say that, it made me feel like how people feel when I say read 50 pages a day. What kind of books is he reading?
3,000 at 10?
I don't want no smoke, but come on, bro.
He also said that a well-known comedian could not read. So he was on both sides of the literacy conversation. But
that was a fact. What he said about education is a fact. Right? The most important job in the world is a teacher, but they're the least paid. So how do we expect the population to get smarter? He was on point with that. Some of the things he said were
he was on point accurate with a lot.
And some of the things was okay. I'm glad he has a perspective.
Well, it is important to read.
Yeah.
So
I've set my game up.
With that being said, what are some books that people need to be reading in 2024?
Oh man, you segue king. There's a couple that I have on my list for 2024. Hold on, let me find because I wrote this list today. Where are we at? The Fund by Ray Dalio. The Unraveling of a Wall Street Legend. Number 2, Why Simple Wins. Number 3, Black Edge about SAC Capital. So Steve Cohen is one of the greatest traders of all time, but at one point in his career, he may have used some nefarious tactics to be able to get an edge in the market. So it shows you, if you watch Billions, you've seen the influence that show has had based off of Steve Cohen. And we'll talk about greed cycles and stuff like that later, but I think it shows when you try to push for an edge at all costs, there is a detriment or pushback. And to prevent a lot of you from getting caught up in scams and scam culture in 2024, read The Wizard of Lies about Bernie Madoff. I think if you study the greatest Ponzi of all time, you'll be able to figure out who is legit, who is not, and how to stop yourself from being caught up in a scam. Like if you ever go by the building that he operated out of, a Payless shoe store wouldn't operate out of that office. Like at one point in time, Bernie said he was placing more trades that was available on the exchange for options. So those are the 4 books: The Fund about Ray Dalio, Why Simple Wins; Black Edge about SAC Capital; and The Wizard of Lies about Bernard L. Madoff.
His office was actually a pretty nice office. I actually used to work down the street from his office, but his accountant's office,
shit show.
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Ozzy. He said, "Who moved my cheese?" I always tell people that's the book that they should start, just from a mindset standpoint. It's an amazing book. It's 87 pages, but you can really understand who you are in this world as far as mindset, as far as drive, just from an 87-page book. I'm gonna add one in because I'm about to finish it. It's Chaos Kings: How Wall Street Traders Make Billions in a New Age of Crisis by Scott Patterson, and it's really about during crisis, during economic downturn, how the rich get richer, how they wait for these moments and they prepare for these moments and they engage in these moments with intention, and they thrive. And so anytime that you hear recession or you hear pullback, there's a group of people that are just waiting for those words, and how we can, as retail investors, benefit from from that information. So it's a great book for anybody that is looking to say, all right, well, they're saying there's a recession in 2025 coming. Here's how I prepare for it. Here's how I take advantage of it.
Yeah. That's one of the most slept on books, I think, or newer books on investing and trading for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right. There's your reading list, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck. 50 pages a day.
3,000. We stepping it up. 3,000 pages a day. It's be ridiculous. If that's what's going viral, hey, 3,000 pages a day. Keep the brokenness away.
Do it. For
sure. Hit the like button and share. We will be talking about Bitcoin soon. But first, do you think the stock market will go up at least 20% this year?
Probability is low. 34% of the time, the market goes up 20% or more. So 2021, 2019, 2017, 2013, 2009. This went up. 1999, it went up. We'll have a good year. We'll end up positive. I think the S&P 500 should do 13 to 16%. So it'll be under that. I think, of course, NASDAQ, Bitcoin, semiconductors will definitely pace above 20%. But the more important lesson is like whenever the market does go up for the year, we normally cluster 2 to 3 years back to back. So we had a positive year this year. Biden wants to get reelected. He's going to make sure that the market doesn't fall on his term. Now, the year after, that's a different scenario. But I think we'll end up probably 13 to 16% on the S&P. I think the Qs will do maybe 25 to 28%. So I don't know if we'll go up 20%, but we'll be a little bit up under it for sure by end of year.
So you said QQQ will do 28%, you said?
Yeah, probably 28%.
For this year?
Yeah.
That's your prediction?
Yes, sir. And if I'm wrong, somebody can clip it up and use it.
All right.
If I made you money, please put yes in chat.
That's a good sign for the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Well, that is an asset. QQQ. What sector do you think is overhyped in 2023 and will correct in 2024?
Honestly, I think the AI space is overhyped.
Ding, ding, ding.
And a large language model. From the startup perspective that got funding from either angels or VC, I think we've seen the best of breed so far. Of course, OpenAI dominant, Anthropic dominant, but I'm seeing every company saying that they are some kind of AI iteration to get funded, and I think we've seen the best of breed perform and get funding. Some, of course, will get acquired, but I think if a company is connecting itself, or a publicly traded company is connecting itself to a large language model to boost earnings or revenue, I don't think that's going to work in 2024. There needs to be a new innovation. I'm surprised Apple hasn't dove more into the large language models for Siri, or hasn't acquired something in that space, but I don't think it will have the same impact that it will in 2024 as it did in 2023. NVIDIA, of course, is going to do great. AMD will, of course, do great. They did great today as well. But if a company, let's say a healthcare company, is tying themselves to AI or LLMs for 2024, I think that boat has left the dock.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I said ding. I think that spot on. And I feel like it's been priced in, right? If AI is part of the business model, or it wasn't in 2023, it's been priced in into 2024, and so it's going to be those leaders that are going to continue to lead. We saw NVIDIA hit an all-time high today. They announced three new graphic cards. I mean, AMD was on fire today.
They're trying to fight back. Yep,
they're there, right? They're fine. Like, hey, we have a competitor that's going to be more affordable for your company. Great strategy. So those leaders are going to continue to lead. But the other companies that are trying to play catch up, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And you know, when people see a space like AI inside of the tech sector, it's like, this is our new way to make money. And a lot of times people get caught in that, and that's what happens when we hear the word bubble. Everybody tries to crowd in because there's money to be made. Not a lot of great products are made inside of that, but few will survive. And
Yeah.
right now, I think we know who the leaders at the forefront are going to be. So they'll continue to thrive. But I think you're spot on with AI being that sector.
The moment that everybody's been waiting for. So Bitcoin is on fire right now, crossed over 47,000 today. So, you know, everybody's back on the Bitcoin train, back on the crypto train. Talks to the ETF getting approved within the next week or so. So Bitcoin, crypto.
Yes.
Will Bitcoin hit 100,000 this year? And what is the future for cryptocurrency in 2024?
Bitcoin community, I want no smoke. Crypto community, love y'all dearly. I have nothing bad to say. Will it hit 100 grand? I don't believe so, but I think it can have a case to push towards like 65,000 easily. The ETF case, I don't know if the ETFs will get approved by next week, but if they do, it'll be a strong push to the upside. So we're currently at like almost 47,000. So when I said to buy in at 29,000, 20,000, for the record, it was a good time to buy. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Continue to hold. But performance-wise, Bitcoin has beat everything on the stock market. Hold. I talked about this in Ghana. Hold everything for a 7 to 8 year period. You'll be good. If it can get through 61,000, and we want to, please write this down. You want a gradual increase. We don't want a 15% jump or 12% jump. Like just a steady gain of 3 to 8%. It's great because then you don't want a whole bunch of short sellers coming in or people taking profit or people getting too afraid. So if it's a smooth push to the upside, I think we can get into like the high 60s and be okay. 2025, we should clear 100 grand on Bitcoin though. So
Do you think the appreciation as we've seen is attributed to the pending ETF approval? They say Wednesday it could happen, or is this another one of these? And we've seen this in the crypto space, especially with Bitcoin, where we've seen a price go up on speculation of news, and then that news doesn't happen, and then this process gets delayed for another 6 months, and some of the whales start taking a little bit of the profit.
I think it's different because for sure, BlackRock is probably going to be like the preeminent player in the ETF space with the Bitcoin ETF. So it's going to come. This is a sure thing. Like it wasn't like before when people were speculating if it was going to have value, or when JP Morgan was lying about buying it or saying it was of no value, then they were buying it in Europe. This is going to happen. So we're just waiting for the announcement. So if it's a sell-off, it'll be small, but I think anyone who's already in it, you should continue to hold. The next 5 or 6 years should be absolutely incredible. And the second most important thing, people want bigger returns. As much as flack I may have given Kathy when I was talking about her strategy and how they attacked it, one thing that she did make clear to the larger public is people don't want 7 to 12% returns. If you can get me 16 to 30%, great. And depending on when you can get into Bitcoin, you can get that in a week or a month. So I think you should definitely hold on to this. And if you look from that run from 2020, when there's that 5 grand and some change, if you've held from then to be up almost 10x is amazing. So continue to hold for the long term. But this is a sure bet for sure. And I wonder how much pressure this is going to put in the reallocation of the S&P 500 to perform even better if this ETF gets approved. Because if I have to pick between, let's say I have 15 grand to put into an ETF, would I rather put it in a SPY or a Bitcoin ETF? The outflows of S&P could be higher than we expect and go into the Bitcoin ETF because we want a higher multiple. And we'll finally have some safety in terms of like certain pockets where institutions will buy to keep support levels pretty high. So I'm interested to see how that war plays out over the next 2 or 3 years.
So BlackRock, Spider, they could all potentially have their own Bitcoin ETFs.
But it's the 80-20 rule. Like 80% of money is going to flow into 20. Then you have the 95-5 rule. BlackRock, JP Morgan, State Street, the big players are going to be the ones who end up with the majority of money under management with this ETF. So,
okay.
Yep. Hold on for dear life.
Yeah. Investing
is easy, man. If you hold for the long term and stop, number one rule, please write this down in 2024, stop deviating for the next decade.
Yeah. I wonder where people are even now with all the confusion in 2023 with cryptocurrency platforms. Coinbase is still the safest, right? Are people still using Binance or, there's all these other these sources. I wonder what now, especially what we're seeing with Bitcoin's going, as people are trying to get reallocated with that space, is the influx, I'd have to look into it. Is the influx going to Coinbase or is it going to another platform? Be interesting to see.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Apple, if you need an idea of something to infiltrate.
Yeah. Somebody's got to make the money.
Absolutely.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem.